This particular episode was actually beaten by the Lego Masters.
Oh my God. Look, somebody pass me the spew bucket already. Please pass me the spew bucket.
The Sussex squad trying to, I would argue, massage the ratings.
Yeah, pass it up the door.
Oh, thanks.
Pass the duchy to the right-hand side.
God, that was really bad. What have you got in your teeth?
The ratings were real. The record was not. Meghan Markle's MasterChef Australia appearance reached around 1.16 million people, averaged roughly 738,000 viewers, and produced an overnight streaming high of about 118,000.
These were actually not good. Stop trying to make this woman sound like she's the best.
Within hours, those numbers were being pushed as proof that Meghan had shattered television records, humiliated every critic, and rescued an entire franchise with one appearance. But the giant victory lap only worked if nobody looked at what those figures actually meant.
And actually, you've got to remember this show used to have a peak audience of 3 million.
For days, the headlines sounded almost identical. Meghan had broken records. Meghan had silenced the people who mocked her lifestyle show. Meghan had walked into an Australian kitchen and proved the world was desperate to watch her. The result was presented like a miracle. One guest appearance, one Sunday night, and suddenly the Duchess was being crowned the new queen of primetime television.
I'm so tired of the squad and their lies and stupid Yahoo posting ridiculous ratings to try and make this loser look good. If you want to play the game of ratings, then we will do that for Robert Irwin as well. He had 1.15 million views, if that's the case. It's the second column they look at that tells the actual views, not the first. They want to say she had 118,000 overnight, the biggest in 3 years, they claim. He had 104,000 overnight on Wednesday in the middle of a week. Stop trying to make this woman sound like she's the best.
The wording mattered. Largest Sunday audience in 3 years became record ratings. An overnight streaming high became evidence of historic demand. Reach became the headline, while average audience disappeared into the smaller print. Every accurate detail was pushed one step beyond what it actually proved, until the final story barely resembled the original numbers. The 1.16 million number was Reach.
This particular episode was actually beaten by the Commonwealth Games and just on par with Lego Masters. So actually, not great. Not great.
That does not mean 1.16 million people sat through the full episode. Reach can include someone who watched part of the program, stayed for a short time, and then changed the channel. The average audience was much smaller, around 738,000. That is still a strong result. It was reportedly the show's largest overnight Sunday audience in 3 years, and the streaming figure was a Sunday night high. But those are very specific milestones.
Of course she was. We all know how genuinely warm and lovely and polite she is to the little people.
Before we continue, I want to mention something really quick. Organizing your family's important information is one of those things most of us know we should do, but we keep putting it off. That's exactly why there's the Family Vault. It gives you one place to organize your important documents, insurance, medical information, passwords, and more, so everything is easy to find when it's needed. You'll find the link in the description, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. That's all. Now, let's get back to today's story. They are not the same as the biggest MasterChef Australia episode ever. They are not the biggest audience on Australian television that night, and they do not prove Meghan suddenly created a new army of loyal viewers. The comparison makes the spin even clearer. Commonwealth Games coverage that Sunday averaged around 964,000 viewers. Lego Masters averaged approximately 733,000.
I just think when you take all of this into consideration, actually, MasterChef Australia did not work for Meghan. And did it work for Channel 10? Maybe. I mean, they didn't get the huge ratings, but I think they got the publicity, which is probably what they wanted.
Meghan's MasterChef episode averaged about 738,000. So the television earthquake being celebrated across friendly headlines remained well behind the major sporting broadcast, and only edged Lego Masters by a few thousand average viewers. That is not a failure. But it is nowhere near the Meghan Markle television takeover. Her publicity machine wanted people to imagine
rubbing my temples because I can't understand how this is so good.
Oh. I'm rubbing my temples. Is that what you did when you were in Suits? Is that how you act? Is that her acting technique, rubbing her temples? Because I'm rubbing my temples at how bad this show is, at how bad Meghan is.
One carefully selected number was lifted out of a complicated ratings report, placed in the biggest font possible, and surrounded by the word record. Suddenly, a strong Sunday result in a narrow category became Meghan breaking Australian television. She did not. What happened was far more useful to both Meghan and Network 10. The network created a heavily promoted celebrity event. Meghan received a giant number that could be removed from its context and used as proof that her name still moves audiences.
Please, I am so glad that that's gone to air. I'm so glad that nauseating, disgusting load of tripe has aired. Now, please spare us and get out of our lives.
The episode generated arguments, clips, outrage, defenses, boycott calls, and curiosity before it even aired. Then Harry appeared too. The show did not quietly place Meghan into an ordinary mid-season episode and wait to see whether viewers noticed. It aired her appearance on a Sunday during the final stretch of the competition, with only 4 contestants remaining. Network 10 had promoted her for weeks. The challenge was built around a dish fit for a duchess.
I'm not sure she has anything of her own that she can do.
Martha Stewart updated her website description to say
Yes.
the original and the best. So I think she very much knew that Meghan was ripping it off.
Reports about possible tension behind the scenes were already circulating. Social media was fighting over whether she belonged anywhere near a MasterChef judging table. And halfway through the program, a phone was carried into the studio so Prince Harry could appear by video call. That was not a tiny detail. It was a second famous face, a second wave of Sussex publicity, and another reason for curious viewers to keep watching.
Dan, not only is she like crudité, she also really just likes to repackage grocery store stuff on a plate into rainbow colors.
Meghan was promoted as the star guest, yet the episode still reached for Harry as an extra hook. 2 Sussexes for the price of 1. Harry did not taste the food. He did not judge the contestants. He did not demonstrate a technique or offer meaningful culinary advice. He appeared, smiled, exchanged the familiar "my love" routine with Meghan, supported his wife, and disappeared.
It's happened so many times before, like in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic when Meghan held a virtual video call with a client from her patronage, SmartWorks. And Harry just happened to pop in to make a cameo. Again in 2021 during the launch of her 40 by 40 membership initiative. Remember that initiative that went nowhere when she turned 40? He also made an appearance. And later that same year, during a Global Citizen Vax Live video, Harry walked into the background of their home in Montecito in the shot, just to wave at the camera. Kind of like, of course, I'm here, guys.
To some viewers, it may have looked sweet. To others, it looked like another perfectly timed television moment designed to remind everyone that Meghan did not arrive only as Meghan. She arrived with a prince attached. The pattern was familiar. Harry has surfaced during Meghan's public projects before, appearing around virtual campaigns, podcast promotion, and other moments supposedly centered on her. His presence immediately adds royal recognition and gives the audience another reason to pay attention.
And then, in 2022, during her Archetypes podcast debut with Serena Williams, you know, the debut that went nowhere, Hazza once again dropped in unannounced to say hello. How many times we got to do this, guys? We get it, Meghan. You married a royal, and you two are a team.
MasterChef followed the same formula. The cooking stopped, the prince appeared, the couple performed a brief marriage moment, and the episode received another Sussex headline. Maybe the call genuinely surprised her. Maybe production arranged the timing in advance. The audience was not shown the planning, but the result looked polished, convenient, and placed exactly where a celebrity cameo could stop people from changing the channel.
I love this dish. I mentioned my husband is a real meat and potatoes kind of guy. This feels like the most elegant, elevated version of that. H would love this dish.
Oh, good. Oh, good. As long as H would love it. That's what they're all there for. As long as your tool of a husband would love it.
And that creates the question, the ratings celebration avoided. If Meghan alone was the unstoppable, record-breaking attraction, Why did the episode need Harry's face in the middle of it? The truth is that the audience was not watching one simple thing. They were watching a package. Finals week tension, weeks of promotion, Meghan's celebrity, Harry's surprise appearance, a royal title.
What's going on? Have I interrupted something?
Well, we're actually
Yeah,
in the
it's a
tasting all the
taping.
dishes. We have four
It's a
incredible
competition
cooks here. Aaron's
with
here,
food that's hot
Courtney's
and needs
back
to be
there,
tasted at a certain
Casper,
temperature. Oh my
Pedro.
God, these two are the worst.
Hi guys. It's amazing. They're so talented. We wish you were here. He's in Canberra right now with the veterans.
There's chandeliers in the background. That's
With the
very nice.
veterans.
See the joints.
Footnote.
All out here. Your beautiful wife.
That you guys have.
Rumors of awkwardness, social media outrage, boycott calls, fans defending her, critics waiting for a disaster, and ordinary MasterChef viewers who would have watched the final stages of the competition anyway. All of those people were poured into one number and presented as Meghan supporters. Every curious viewer became a fan. Every skeptic became proof of her popularity. Every person who turned on the television to see whether she embarrassed herself was counted inside the same giant victory headline.
Okay, Megs, go.
Trick that people do with pineapple, instead of just cutting it
Hold it steady, you ginger pots!
to make the perfect little bite, you follow the wedge. When nature has given you all the cues on how to have a perfect taste of something.
Oh, how fun is that? I love it.
Oh my gosh, I work so hard.
That is convenient. It is also ridiculous. Ratings can show that people looked. They cannot show why they looked. They cannot tell Network 10 whether those viewers trusted Meghan, admired her, wanted her recipes, planned to buy her products, or were simply waiting for the next strange moment.
She naturally brought her own team, aka her entourage, because we all know you ain't a duchess without no entourage. And what duchess relies on a TV show's own team of professional hair and makeup when she's got her own? It's insane. She also, by the way, had to pay for their airfare tickets, or someone did. Yeah, great.
Attention is not affection. Curiosity is not loyalty. Controversy is not admiration. Meghan has been one of the most argued about celebrities in the world for years. Put her into a famous cooking competition, advertise the appearance for weeks, surround it with royal language, add reports of tension, and then bring Harry onto a screen. Of course, people are going to look.
I'm so shocked. Harry's on the phone. Even her fake acting is cringe. Like the fake surprise is cringe. It's everything about it is so inauthentic.
Because I could just authentically be myself without so much preparedness.
A crowd gathering around a car crash is still a crowd. That does not mean anybody wants to buy the car. The episode itself then gave viewers exactly the kind of awkward material many of them had tuned in to see. Before Meghan even began talking about food, another contradiction was already hanging over the show. Reports claimed her team had concerns about royal language and about Judge Po Ling Yao's introduction.
Hi, oh my God, it's been so long, Miss Meghan Markle.
Meghan Markle did not make many friends on the set of MasterChef Australia. In fact, they couldn't wait for the taping day to be over.
Meghan was introduced as the Duchess of Sussex, and the challenge was promoted as a dish fit for a duchess. A source close to Meghan later pushed back. The filming was described as positive. Meghan was said to have enjoyed herself, and suggestions of serious tension were dismissed. Friendly coverage quickly repeated the reassuring version. Everything was warm, professional, and completely fine. But the title problem did not disappear.
Things did not go great. She got upset with one of the lead hosts of the show after she said royalty was in the kitchen. Apparently, Meghan did not want that word used. Meghan, relax. It's fine. It's not a bad word.
Meghan reportedly wanted to be treated simply as Meghan, while the entire promotional event depended on the Duchess title that made her internationally famous. The show was not selling an unknown California lifestyle host. It was selling royal proximity. The apron may have said cooking competition, but the marketing said Duchess. That contradiction ran through the entire appearance. She wanted to seem casual and down to earth, yet she was the most heavily promoted guest of the season. She wanted the public to see a serious food personality, Yet the challenge leaned on royalty.
This dish is 10 out of 10. Making me nervous. Cooking for her is crazy.
She wanted the Harry call to feel spontaneous, yet it landed like a production cue. And she wanted the ratings to prove people loved her, even though controversy gave thousands of skeptics a reason to watch. Then MasterChef asked her one of the easiest food questions imaginable. What is your favorite dish to cook for your family? This should have been Meghan's perfect moment. Her entire new public identity is built around food, home, gardens, fresh ingredients, entertaining, and meaningful family meals.
Can I ask you, please, Meghan, what is your favorite dish to cook for the family?
It's a tough one because I have a lot of palates to appease.
She don't cook.
I'm sorry.
She don't cook.
It's weird.
She has a lifestyle series. She sells products connected to that image. She presents herself as the warm California host who can turn a simple meal into a beautiful experience. So what does she actually cook for her family? Meghan could not name one dish. She explained that there were several palates to please. Harry likes meat, potatoes, and creamy sauces.
She actually cannot even name one dish.
I was just shocked she didn't say the roast chicken I made that convinced him to marry me. Remember the big story when they first started dating and she made him roast chicken and all that blah, blah, blah? Why didn't she just say that?
She described herself as a California girl who prefers grilled fish, grilled meat, citrus, herbs, and spices. She even paused to ask how Australians pronounce herbs.
Pure natural herbs and spices. Do you say herbs or herbs here?
You do? Oh my God. Look, somebody pass me the spew bucket already. Please pass me the spew bucket.
There were plenty of ingredients. There was still no answer. No roast chicken, no pasta, no curry, no lasagna, no Sunday dinner, no simple meal that Harry or the family asks for again and again. Just a cloud of food words floating around, a direct question she never answered.
She is now trying to pivot to yet again another move. If you look at the Times of London had said she is rumored to be working on a cookbook, so of course she wants to go out and look, I'm a chef.
That moment did more damage than any report about tension behind the scenes. The woman being promoted as a food and lifestyle authority was standing on one of the world's most famous cooking shows, in front of the biggest audience she had received in years, and she could not name her signature family meal. That is not a tiny verbal mistake. That is the entire brand becoming vague the moment somebody asks for one concrete example. Then came her major cooking contribution, pesto.
Oh my God. And of course, during her weird performative time on the show, her love showed up again in a totally unplanned FaceTime call, which is becoming something of a habit of his and hers, where Meghan has him spontaneously just pop in during work calls or events, just to remind us all that she indeed bagged a prince.
After all the language about fresh produce, global flavors, meaningful meals, family tastes, and sophisticated California living, Meghan made pesto. Basil, oil, other ingredients, and a blender. It may have tasted perfectly good. It may have suited the challenge. But this was the television appearance supposedly proving Meghan belonged in the MasterChef kitchen. This was the face behind a glossy lifestyle identity and a food business. Her grand culinary reveal looked like something millions of people make at home in minutes before boiling pasta.
And don't you love how she just has to mention that Harry is from the UK? For a woman who spent 5 minutes in the UK, oh, well, Harry's from the UK, so we cook with a lot of meats. Meghan's probably never been to a local pub in the UK in her life. Never. She wouldn't know what good food is. She pretends to know what good food is, and then she tries to make a profit from it and sell it to everybody at home as part of her Love Meghan series. So please spare it.
The publicity sold a television revolution. The kitchen delivered pesto. And that is when the ratings story becomes even more embarrassing. The numbers may have been the strongest part of the entire appearance. Remove the giant reach figure, and what remains? A lifestyle personality who could not name one family dish. A celebrity guest whose most memorable recipe was pesto.
What I do have is a very particular set of skills. Skills I have acquired over a very long career. Skills like Just give me a sec.
Writing stuff on bananas?
A Duchess title being used to sell the episode while royal language reportedly caused concern. A perfectly timed Harry cameo. And a publicity operation racing to announce total victory before anyone examined the context. The episode did not prove Meghan was the next great television food personality. It proved television knows how to use controversy. Network 10 got exactly what it needed. Headlines, arguments, clips, social media traffic, a temporary audience spike.
Poe has to say to Meghan, because Meghan's clearly never even watched the show before, like they're realizing this, like they have to explain everything who were on that set, where it was like, oh my God, like it was a heavy lift because she was supposed to be the central happening of the show. Her appearance is like the big moment of the season, and it didn't go that way. Like we had to like help her along.
Meghan got something valuable too, a number that could be displayed in future coverage as evidence that she attracts viewers. Both sides won something, but only one side tried to convince the public that every curious viewer had joined a fan club. Friendly reports later pointed to a year-on-year improvement of around 16%. Again, that sounds impressive until the obvious questions begin. How much came from Meghan? How much came from the final week of the competition? How much came from the Sunday slot? How much came from Harry?
You know, how do you want it to be, Meghan? Because at one point, you know, she's this independent, global influencer and entrepreneur. Next minute, she's Duchess of Sussex. Which is it? Make your mind up.
Yeah, nobody's turning around and saying, please welcome former Deal or No Deal model, Meghan. Like, no, it's not happening, right?
How much came from weeks of promotion, controversy, boycott threats, and people waiting for an awkward moment? The rating cannot separate those motives. It also cannot prove that those viewers will follow Meghan anywhere else. The real test would be simple. Bring her back. Give her another episode without the novelty, without weeks of fighting, without a surprise Harry call, and see whether the same people return. Network 10 has not announced Meghan as a returning judge or given her a larger role. That does not prove she was rejected. Guest judges often appear once, but it destroys the fantasy that one Sunday result automatically transformed her into an essential television star.
You always hear about these stories of people shape-shifting. I think this was a moment. There is something truly demonic going on here, and it's not AI. I mean, I would certainly say the producers were not trying to protect her in the edit, put it that way.
A controversy event can work once. People tune in because they want to see the surprise. They wait for the uncomfortable answer. The unusual facial expression, the royal language, the husband appearing on a screen, or the moment everyone will argue about the next morning. After the mystery disappears, the guest needs to give them a reason to stay. What reason did Meghan provide? She did not teach a memorable technique. She did not create a signature recipe. She did not deliver a brilliant judging moment that changed the competition.
The thing is, Paula, though, I can understand strategically, absolutely, like you want to release a cookbook and make lots of money from that, because remember, her first foray into publishing in America was The Bench, the children's book, the deal she actually secured when she was in the British royal family. It was a disaster. It's like, oh God, I can't be a children's author. Yep, I did the book for charity and it was a success. So I can understand why she wants to do a cookbook. Of course, it makes sense strategically. The problem is why I don't think the appearance on MasterChef Australia worked is because actually my contention is that Meghan is not a cook at all.
Her most discussed contributions were the missing family dish, the pesto, the Duchess contradiction, and the Harry call. That is not a cooking legacy. It is celebrity noise wearing an apron. That is why claims that Meghan silenced anyone fall apart so quickly. Her supporters saw a record. Her critics saw a carefully selected category. Supporters saw a warm guest appearance. Critics saw a lifestyle personality avoiding a basic food question. Supporters saw a loving call from Harry. Critics saw another rehearsed-looking cameo.
She has asked them to use ingredients like honey, macadamia nuts, citrus, but here are my two favourites, edible flowers and celeriac. Celeriac. Does anybody in a cost of living crisis know what celeriac is? Is anybody cooking with edible flowers right now and celeriac?
The same broadcast gave both groups more material. Meghan's publicity machine simply shouted its interpretation first and hoped the biggest number would end the argument before the details arrived. And the timing was extremely useful for Meghan's wider business. Her lifestyle identity needs attention. Her products need customers. Her entertainment projects need viewers. Her team needs evidence that her name can still produce headlines and numbers. Suddenly, one Sunday audience is no longer just a rating. It becomes a sales document.
But the Grenfell Tower cookbook was full of recipes that were not her own. They were full of the women who had lived in Grenfell Tower recipes. And that's why it was such a huge success.
She's sort of, what's the word? She curated it, right? She sort of edited,
and and the one pot pasta that she did on her show that made us all kind of gag was actually a Martha Stewart recipe.
Before we continue, one quick thing. One thing I've realized is that most families don't have their important information organized in one place. That's exactly why I recommend the Family Vault, a simple, printable, and fillable organizer where you can keep everything from important documents and insurance to medical information, passwords. You'll find the link in the description, or you can simply scan the QR code on your screen. Now let's get back to today's story. Look, Meghan can attract attention. Nobody needs to deny that. Her name creates immediate reaction, positive and negative. But the mistake is pretending all attention is support. The 1.16 million reach did not reveal how many viewers trusted her cooking advice. The 738,000 average did not show how many people would purchase a Meghan-branded product. The streaming milestone did not prove audiences wanted another season of her lifestyle series.
And we all knew she was going to do this because, of course, the second she went to Australia, they had opportunities booked out the entire time.
And the year-on-year increase did not explain whether viewers came for Meghan, Harry, the competition, the promotion, or the controversy. That is the context missing from the victory parade. Meghan's team wanted one clean story. She appeared. The ratings exploded. The critics were humiliated. The Duchess conquered television. The real story is much messier. She appeared in a heavily promoted Finals Week episode. The show delivered a strong result in specific Sunday categories. The biggest headline used reach, while the average audience was far lower.
There is only one reason Meghan went on MasterChef Australia: money.
The program remained behind major sports coverage and almost level with LEGO Masters. The audience included fans, skeptics, regular viewers, hate watchers, and people waiting for the next bizarre Sussex moment. Then, Meghan failed to name one favorite family dish, made pesto, and received help from a conveniently timed appearance by Harry. That is not Meghan conquering television. That is television successfully using Meghan. She did not silence her critics. She gathered them around the same television and counted them as supporters. She did not produce the biggest MasterChef result in history.
She's a master chef. She likes different flavors and herbs and spices.
She produced a narrow Sunday milestone that was inflated until it sounded historic. She did not prove viewers see her as a food expert. She proved that a famous name, weeks of controversy, a royal title, Finals Week momentum, and a prince on a video call can still make people stare. And the most brutal possibility is that many of those viewers did not tune in because they wanted Meghan to succeed. They tuned in because they wanted to see what she would do next. Once again, she gave them the spectacle they came for. The audience was real. The record was the illusion.